Good evening, and welcome to World Sight Day 2021. My name is Reena Chandra Rajpal, and I am the President and Executive Director of Combat Blindness International. We are so grateful you could join tonight's celebration of World Sight Day, an annual event focusing global attention on blindness and visual impairment around the world. Blindness is a global health crisis affecting 1.1 billion people. And if we do nothing, that number could grow to 1.7 billion by 2050. The lingering effects of the COVID pandemic are taking a heavy toll in low and middle income countries, where 90% of visually impaired people live. That's where Combat Blindness International comes in. In these hard-hit countries, CBI has had a major impact expanding free eye care to those desperately in need. Ever since my father, Dr. Suresh Chandra, founded CBI in 1984, we have screened over 2.66 million people and given sight to over 375,000 across 17 countries on 4 continents. Together, we have given hope to people in low-income areas needlessly suffering from vision loss. Together, we have empowered people through the gift of sight, enabling them to continue working, going to school, and contributing to their communities. And together, we have transformed people's lives so they can reach their full potential. It is because of caring people like you that we are able to have this kind of impact. Your participation in tonight's event can and will transform a person's life through the gift of sight. Our program tonight will highlight our impact so far this year, including the launch of our exciting ADIA initiative, which empowers women and expands eye care to those in rural areas. We'll also give you a window into the future of preventing blindness in our talk with Kovan Naidu, a world-renowned global health changemaker. And you can bid in our silent auction using the hand bid auction platform. We're offering exciting experiences, handcrafts from around the world, and more. The auction ends at 10 p.m. Central tonight for all items except for the travel packages, which you can bid on through 10 p.m. on Sunday, October 17th. You can get details on registering via your computer or smartphone by visiting combatblindness.org/world-sight-day. Before we begin this evening's presentation, I have a few announcements and some words of thanks. First of all, the names of everyone who registered for tonight's program were entered in a drawing to win this Google Nest smart speaker. And now, let's pick our winner. Rich Christofferson, you have just won a smart speaker. Congratulations. And thanks to everyone who registered for tonight's live stream. Next, I'd like to thank our World Sight Day sponsors. Our platinum sponsors, Paul Berkbigler Design and Multimedia and Allegra Marketing Print and Mail. And our gold sponsors, the Capital Group, Horizon Therapeutics, Symphony Corp, and UW Health, Unity Health Meritor Courts. Next, I would especially like to thank our staff, volunteers, and event committee members for all their hard work in putting together this event. To all who are watching this live stream, I encourage you to post your support for CBI on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. We would love if you would tag Combat Blindness International and use the hashtags World Sight Day and Love Your Eyes. Next, I'd like to take a moment to remember our beloved friend and board member, Susan Axelrod, who passed away late last year. Susan was a kind, caring, and compassionate human being. As a board member and treasurer, Susan made a measurable impact at CBI. For me personally, it was an honor to work alongside Susan. She was caring and passionately wanted to help others. Susan, I will miss your friendship, wisdom, and laughter, and you will always be in our hearts. Finally, I want to thank our dear friend and longtime supporter, Diane Baldwin, for providing a generous matching gift for World Sight Day. From now until October 19th, all donations will be matched up to $50,000. I encourage you all to take advantage of this opportunity to double the impact of your gift. Click the donate button on your screen or visit combatblindness.org/donate. Your matched gift can change the lives of twice as many children, mothers, fathers, and grandparents who need our help. Thank you again for being here tonight. I would like to start our program with a special word from our amazing partners at Lions Sight First Eye Hospital in Nairobi, Kenya. Take a look.
I'm Rizwana Peerboy, General Manager at the Lions Sight First Eye Hospital in Nairobi, Kenya. First and foremost, I would like to thank Reena Rajpal and the Combat Blindness International team for their philanthropy, which has helped our institution offer free cataract surgeries to the underserved people in Kenya. More people than ever need the strength and support of organizations like Combat Blindness. Receiving support from CBI has allowed our hospital to say yes to one more child or adult who can be saved from reversible blindness. We at Lions are so gratified that Combat Blindness believed in our work enough to support our outreach cause, and so on behalf of Lions Sight First Eye Hospital and the rural people of Kenya, I say Asante Sana.
Our sincere thanks to Lions Sight First Eye Hospital in Nairobi, Kenya for that lovely message and for their strong partnership with Combat Blindness International. Joining me now to talk about our successes this year is Dr. Peter Home, CBI's Vice Chairman and Chief Medical Officer. Welcome, Peter.
Well, hi, Reena, and thank you for inviting me. Glad to be here tonight, but I am just a small part of the organization of CBI. I can tell you what a pleasure it is working with our partners overseas, our staff here, and as a member of the board of directors. In particular, the board is composed of a devoted group of very bright and capable people. They all bring amazing talents from fields besides and including medicine, which enable us to create new and innovative programs at CBI. When tonight's program is over, you might want to visit our website to learn more about all the committed members of the CBI team. As Reena mentioned earlier, COVID and its variants have continued to have a devastating impact in the countries where our partners operate. Lockdowns, temporary hospital shutdowns, limited contact with patients, and suspension of large-scale vision screening camps have been huge challenges for CBI's International Cataract Program. But Combat Blindness International has remained committed as ever to helping those in need through our International Cataract Program. In fact, we've been able to expand this program. For example, Combat Blindness International renewed its support for vision screenings and cataract surgeries at Lions Sight First Eye Hospital in Nairobi, Kenya, where we saw earlier in the video just what they are doing. So far, Lions Sight First Eye Hospital already has screened thousands of men, women, and children and conducted hundreds of surgeries. One of these patients, Ernest, a self-employed 32-year-old, had to stop working because his eyesight was failing. With limited income and resources, he began to lose hope. But thanks to generous people like you, Ernest received CBI-supported eye surgery, making it possible to return to work, continue earning a living, and contributing to his community. His vision, independence, and his hope were restored. I should point out that due to a partnership with an intraocular lens company in India, Orolab, and others, we have been able to lower the cost of cataract surgery to $25. It can be performed in about 20 minutes and can restore someone's sight 24 hours later. As a surgeon who has performed cataract surgery overseas with Combat Blindness International in Myanmar and India, I can tell you it is a life-changing experience for the patient and for those involved in helping that patient. Sorry. I have taken care of many patients who have not seen their families' faces for decades. It's really, truly amazing. But you don't have to be a physician or a surgeon or to be present in those countries to aid in cataract surgery. Your donation tonight can transform a person's life and empower them to resume and pursue goals and dreams which would have been lost to them due to poor vision. CBI has also forged a brand new partnership with Jayapriya Medical Foundation in Hubli, India. Through CBI's support, 1,000 impoverished people receive free cataract surgeries as a part of Mission Jyoti 1000 project. Please watch the short video clip from Jayapriya.
ಗುಡ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ನೂನ್ ಸರ್. ಹಾವೇರಿ ಗದಗ ಹಾಗೂ ಧಾರವಾಡ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ನಾವು ಉಚಿತವಾಗಿ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಉಚಿತವಾಗಿ ಕಣ್ಣಿನ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜನರಿಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟಿ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತು ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜನರಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆಯಿಂದ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಂದು ಜನರಿಗೆ ಉಚಿತವಾಗಿ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಕೋಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಬ್ಲೈಂಡ್ನೆಸ್ ವತಿಯಿಂದ ಉಚಿತವಾಗಿ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
In addition to our cataract program, CBI's International Pediatric Program is still being greatly impacted by the pandemic. Lockdowns, quarantines, and school closures have made it difficult for our partners' child vision screening efforts. But partners like Usha Kiran Eye Hospital in Mysore, India, have continued to deliver quality care with support from compassionate donors like you. Janika, a bright young girl, suffered from both a cataract and a dislocated lens, but her parents couldn't afford to pay for Janika's surgery. As a parent myself, I cannot imagine how powerless and hopeless they must have felt, unable to help their daughter. But your generosity made Janika's complex eye surgery possible. You gave hope to Janika's parents that she would have a future with fewer obstacles and far more opportunities, from getting a good education to finding fulfilling work. Restoring sight opens doors, especially for girls and women in low-income regions.
Sorry. The Certified Ophthalmic Paramedic Program, a partnership with Dr. Schroff's Charity Eye Hospital, which we also call the COP program, is a source of pride for all of us at CBI. It's an innovative program that addresses the shortage of eye care technicians by training young women to become ophthalmic technicians through socially distanced learning at Dr. Schroff's Charity Eye Hospital in Delhi, India. Dozens of new students were able to join the program this year alone, which so far has empowered over 500 women. It gives these young women skills, employment, social and fiscal independence, and personal confidence. Your support for their education will not only transform their lives, but will have a remarkable ripple effect on thousands of eye care patients. Each of these bright young women will help them in the years ahead. Anu is the third member of her family who has joined the COP program. In fact, their employment and income through the COP program have been an incredible lifeline for their family. Due to tuberculosis, their father had to quit his job, and he earns much less working in the fields than he did in his former employment. So the wages earned by Anu and her sisters as eye health technicians has truly helped sustain their family. This is a great example of how your support can change the course of young women's lives by empowering them to help patients, their families, themselves, and their communities through the COP program.
Thanks again, Peter, for helping me share our impact with our viewers. Once again, you can give hope to those who cannot afford eye care by clicking the donate button on your screen. Remember, all donations will be matched up to $50,000, and 100% of the proceeds tonight will go directly to patient care. And now we'll hear from Anna Momont from the University of Wisconsin-Madison Department of Ophthalmology and Visual Sciences about CBI's ongoing support for the Right to Sight clinics.
Combat Blindness International and UW Health have partnered going back to 2007 in running the Right to Sight clinic. These clinics allow for us to care for over 100 patients annually and provide free eye exams for those that are underinsured or uninsured in Dane County. These exams include things like diabetic screening, cataract checks, glaucoma screening, and free eyeglasses, which is just a basic necessity. CBI's continued commitment and support of this clinic allows it to be a success. It also shows their continued commitment to the global mentality and taking care of patients not only abroad but also here in our community.
Earlier this year, we launched what promises to be a pivotal new approach to expanding eye care and reducing preventable vision loss. It's called the ADIA Initiative. Formerly called Shakti, the ADIA Initiative is the product of our valued partnership with Dr. Shroff's Charity Eye Hospital in Delhi, India, and the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater Anactus, a global social entrepreneurship student group. The ADIA Initiative literally brings vision screening to the doorsteps of people who have little to no access. This initiative grew mainly out of the need to better reach rural communities when we could not host screening camps in the wake of the pandemic. Here's how it works. Dr. Shroff's Charity Eye Hospital recruits young women and provides them with intensive vision screening training. In turn, these women go into rural areas to screen people in their homes who otherwise would be hard to reach. They use a customized survey on their smartphone developed by UW Whitewater Anactus and CBI that delivers real-time results. Glasses are dispensed on the spot to those that need them, and people who need follow-up care are referred to vision centers and eye hospitals. Meanwhile, these women earn an income from their referrals and through the sale of glasses to those who can afford them. We hope that through this model, the ADIA Initiative will be self-sustaining within 2 years. But the impact of this initiative is significant. People in remote areas get the screening they need. There are more screenings and referrals in less time compared to the old approach of using vision camps. Patients receive follow-up referral care in less time, and young women with limited opportunities are empowered with medical training, employment, and income. I should point out that the UW Whitewater Anactus students submitted their work on the ADIA Initiative in the National Anactus competition and took first place. At this very moment, they are representing the United States in the Anactus World Cup competition, and we at CBI want to wish them the best of luck. For more on this exciting initiative, please check out this video.
The ADIA Initiative believes in fighting blindness and empowering women. Low-income countries desperately need eye care technicians. It's a growing health crisis. ADIA meets this need and empowers women by training them to be vision screeners. They use mobile technology to bring eye care to those without access. Our custom-built screening survey delivers real-time results. That can translate into faster eye care for patients. ADIA is especially impactful for women and girls, the most vulnerable to vision loss. It uses an innovative, self-sustaining business model. ADIA workers earn above-average wages. By generating revenue, it's globally scalable. The ADYA initiative addresses many United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, including no poverty, good health and well-being, gender equality, decent work and economic growth, reduced inequalities, and partnerships for the goals. Combat Blindness International is uniquely positioned for success, having built global partnerships for almost 4 decades. In the future, we'll expand the program beyond India to new locations. ADYA is an innovative collaboration with CBI partners. It gives hope and transforms lives. The ADYA initiative promotes access to eye health and empowers women. Combat Blindness International, restoring sight, empowering people.
We at CBI feel the ADYA initiative could really shape the future of how we fight blindness by providing eye care directly to vulnerable people right in their communities. And we feel it can be replicated and expanded to cover large areas, regions, and even countries. You can provide crucial early-stage support for ADYA by tapping the donate button on your screen. Your gift will be matched, doubling your transformative impact on others' lives. Now, let's turn to our fun silent auction. We have dozens of items from travel packages to international handcrafts and more. Here's a sampling. We have an amazing sports getaway package. Pick any pro sporting event and you get tickets, club seats, airfare, and lodging. Or treat yourself to an 8-day trip for 2 at a 4- or 5-star resort in Mexico. These travel packages are provided through our partner Mitch Stewart Incorporated. They have over 24 years of experience, and I've been really impressed with their knowledge, attention to detail, and their commitment to making sure you have the perfect trip. And you can bid on beautiful handcrafted items from around the world, like this woven tote bag from Ghana, perfect for your local farmer's market, or this lovely scarf from India. Get details on registering via your computer or smartphone by visiting combatblindness.org/world-site-day. Remember, bidding ends at 10 p.m. Central tonight for all items except for the travel packages, which you can bid on through 10 p.m. on Sunday, October 17th. So there are other ways to support CBI too, like volunteering. Here's a word from one of our volunteers, Sarah Siscon, on what motivates her to support CBI.
I volunteer for Combat Blindness International because they have such an incredible mission that works to serve the communities that need it the most. And if I've learned anything throughout this journey, it's that they're not only looking to serve each and every individual, whether that be by vision screening or cataract surgery or providing glasses, but they look to serve the communities as a whole. And I think that is so, so important in looking towards the future and setting a precedent for vision care in the future and beyond.
We want to thank all supporters and viewers tonight for contributing towards our $50,000 matching gift. As you can see, we are getting closer. We have raised almost over $29,000 towards our $50,000 goal, but we need your help. By clicking the donate button on your screen, you can make a difference in the lives of so many men, women, and children. So help us reach our $50,000 goal. Now, it is my great honor to introduce our keynote speaker, Kovan Naidu. Kovan is a longtime friend and supporter of Combat Blindness International. We worked with Kovan in Durban, South Africa, where together we screened more than 6,000 patients and brought sight to nearly 3,400 people. In his youth, Kovan was an anti-apartheid activist and political prisoner. His deep concern for the plight of others led him to become an optometrist and a public health evangelist. Kovan is the founder of several global eye health organizations, including Our Children's Vision Campaign, which brought together 100 organizations aimed to reach 50 million children by 2020. He is a Fulbright Scholar was named International Optometrist of the Year in 2007, and is a former CEO of the Brian Holden Vision Institute. Today, he is with Essilor, the world's largest eyewear and optomic product company, where he serves as the Senior Vice President of Social Impact. Chotin Basu, a distinguished UW-Whitewater business professor and member of CBI's board, sat down with Koven to discuss CBI's work and the future of fighting blindness. In the following Q&A, Koven will be talking about 3 key concepts: how innovation impacts global eye care efforts, the ideas of reach and scale, in other words, reaching the underserved where they live, and scaling up self-sustaining eye care programs to cover big regions or even countries. And finally, he talks about the role of philanthropy as a strategic investment in self-sustaining eye care solutions, including CBI's program. And now, let's listen in on this fascinating discussion with Koven Naidu.
So Koven, welcome. Very excited to have you on this call and being able to interview you to talk through, all these amazing projects and all the things that we've been doing together. So the first thing which I want to do,
thank you.
I'd just like to talk to you specifically about innovations in what has happened in this entire journey that you've taken. So are there like 2-3 examples you can give us and share with the people who'll get to watch this video? Is that from my perspective, I see things like the investment that was made on the intraocular lenses, or the click check that you guys have done without having the need for power. So in your perspective, if you can just walk us through a few of these breakthrough innovations in your mind that you think changed the industry.
Yeah, I think we can, divide them, because one of the mistakes we make when people talk about innovation, the first thing we think of is only technological innovation.
Right.
So I think some of the things that changed the space was definitely the intraocular lenses. It reduced costs tremendously. It took silicone hydrogel lenses, which are foldable, for cataract surgery, and allowed more advanced surgery to be provided for poor people. And the lens was at a cost that being produced at a cost that governments could afford, NGOs could afford, etc. And hats off to people like Aravind and Fred Hollows and other people who really drove that space. I think there's been a lot of innovation around mobile phone based innovations. Some of them have been in fact, I think all of them have been very good in the main, if you look at them. But what separated them is that some of them have postulated it as the total solution when it's a partial solution. So for example, the program is more a screening tool than a tool that can replace an eye exam. And then you had others who have position their tools very well, like Peak Vision, for example, with the diabetic retinopathy screening, where you can look at the back of the eye and be able to, with a mobile phone in rural Kenya, and that's where they started most of their work. Or the school IELTS screening tool, which has also become a tool for collecting the data of those screening, etc. Those things have made a big impact because they've allowed more lay people to be integrated into the system, but they still kept the role of the professional, but reduced that role. And professionals need to come to terms with the fact that they're going to have a reduced role in the rural areas because they're not there, right? And it has to be through proxies. And I think the oversight is fine because we want to make sure that quality is there, etc. But I do think that needs to happen. And then you have, this proliferation, especially out of India and China, of low-cost fundus cameras, which are now taking images of the back. And then there are even fundus cameras that you do not have to dilate the pupil, right? Now, the expensive ones have been available, but the low-cost ones are coming out, and those are going to change things because we know that telemedicine has proliferated, and that's a big innovation that's happening, and COVID has accelerated that innovation, right? Telemedicine with these technologies, either through a mobile phone or either through a low-cost instrument, is going to allow an optometrist at distance or an ophthalmologist to supervise somebody in a rural area, and we can create reach and scale through that. So those are the things that I think have happened in the last couple of years. And then at the level of spectacles, the ready to clip that Essilor has come up with, which allows you to just clip in lenses on the field and give it to people, has been a simple but powerful innovation. And the reason is that we don't think that as the professional, we do an eye exam, we write a script, we say, see you 2 weeks to collect your glasses. But the back and forth costs a poor people sometime a couple of meals in transport, right? And when I started a clinic in a rural part of South Africa, when I came back from the US, sometimes I had to give people money for transport because they'll tell you I can't come back and pick it up. I just don't have, I use the last bit of money to come to you. Over the past couple of years, a more systems approach to refractive errors has emerged, which has been very powerful. Integrating into, firstly, a systems approach of integrating eye health, but also integrating refractive errors. And I think that kind of innovations that are emerging out of that is very powerful. And give you an example, it's leading to public-private partnership. In Kenya, for example, with CBM, Essilor, Kenya Society for the Blind, and the government, we now have created optical shops in government hospitals, right? And yet, historically, the eye exams were being done and people were just given scripts and most of them never got those scripts, right? And these optical shops in some hospitals where there's no services, we are now integrating and bringing in eye care people through the support of Kenya Society for the Blind, etc., and supporting government. But government's putting the most resources. They're putting the bricks and mortar, they're putting human resources towards it, etc. And I think that's important, that we have to not see ourselves as liberators. We need to see ourselves as collaborators, as the development sector or as the private sector.
Excellent, excellent. So I think you touched on, again, a bunch of very, very important points and really kind of driving this conversation towards this public-private partnerships and things like that. And strategically, I think, again, from a CBI perspective, there's so much overlap in the way you're thinking about stuff. So, CBI was involved in the intraocular lenses and funding because they saw that as a game changer, correct? So similarly, they've made other investments based on that. So I think right now, everything seems to be in the place where we have the conversations. So this particular area that I wanted you to kind of just address in a snapshot for people to understand is this concept of reach and a word you used earlier, scalability.
So I would think most of the organizations, companies, etc., have been focused on reach, right? Trying to make sure that services, we know health professionals, optometrists, ophthalmologists, etc., are located within cities and rural areas are underserved. And we look at models of how we can do that. And there's some very good models, either in partnership with government or supporting rural development, etc., that have developed. But if you look at eye care in general, we have islands of success in a sea of despair. That's really what it's all about. But we still have not reached scale where we can say that entire countries have been addressed. And when they have been addressed, like in Bhutan, that Essilor did and addressed all countries, but a lot of it is driven by philanthropy, right? And that has its limitations because you need a sustainable model to develop that. Even when you have approaches that have worked in some countries, when you try to duplicate those approaches in other countries, you get legislative challenges. Like only optometrists are allowed to do this. You can't do an eye exam. You have to be registered. You have to have a 4-year qualification, or you have to be trained to a certain extent, which a lot of them have some legitimate reasons for them. However, I think that we haven't reached scale. The amount of people that are getting access to spectacles hasn't improved. There are 2.7 billion people in the world who need spectacles but are not able to access them. So we have a major crisis in a sense, right? Because this is linked to children's access to education and being able to be successful in education, and no use building schools and if the kids can't see when they're in that school. It's linked to productivity. It's linked to people's access to jobs or even being entrepreneurial. You know, a lot of things like weaving, etc., need vision.
Yes.
So you can't have a basket and sell from home or have a cottage industry if you can't see well, right? So it has huge implications. So scale has evaded us, unfortunately. For me, scale is reaching, not going deep into rural areas, but covering all rural areas, covering urban poor, etc., and having a model that is sustainable, that is firstly affordable, you know, and sustainable.
Yeah, got you. So kind of bring this home as a last question for you, since we're doing this for World Sight Day, and we, CBI has amazing network of people who are behind the mission, very similar to what SLR's mission and so on. So obviously we want them to understand the importance of, funding projects like this strategically. So just a shout out from you in terms of the importance of funding these kind of programs and starting to work towards a series of solutions. Any thoughts on that? Because coming from you, we'd just like to see what you think, the importance of philanthropy. Yeah.
I mean, I go back to the previous point. Philanthropy is a huge cog in the wheel of blindness prevention. Okay. The fact is that in like places like Africa and parts of Asia and all that, philanthropy has to drive that. The importance of that has been elevated in the COVID period.
Yes.
Because governments have used reserves from healthcare, from in the finance ministry, etc., to buy vaccines, deal with the fallout, the economic hardships around COVID, etc. Eye care is going to be on the back burner because we have to be very, very frank. But it's very critical part of healthcare, right? But if I was a minister of health right now, if my people are dying and somebody can't see, I'll choose the one who's dying, right? I'll rather buy antiretroviral drugs than I would think. You make those tough choices, and they're going to have to make more and more of those choices. It is a time that society needs to step up wherever we can.
Yes.
And supporting efforts of CBI and, for example, we can actually make a big difference, right?
Right.
And especially when we're supporting organizations that are focused on not just saying that I have this amazing project, but is directly addressing issues like you are doing in India around creating reach and scale.
Yeah.
I don't think donors must invest in projects that for 20 years is in the same community, takes tourists back and forth, everybody pitches the same pictures, the same discussions, etc. I think donors should be asking, are the organizations I'm supporting with my money, are they doing something to move the needle beyond that community where they started?
Correct.
Right? And I, would like to say to the people that support you or would like to support you, you are definitely one of those organizations that is now showing to be in the forefront of raising the question and coming up with models to address reach and scale. May I just leave you with something about what I think is the future in the space? Because I think, these are debates that are happening, and your donors and even other people listening may. I've said this in a lot of interviews now. The future is partner or perish.
Yeah.
Academia, we say publish or perish, but here it's partner or perish. We have to start working together to say that how can we use the limited resources we have to address this eye care crisis we have. Those of us in the refractive error space have a great opportunity because the sale of spectacles allows business models. So we need to bring the development sector, the business sector, and government together and create that approach. And I think that I just want to say that I'm always happy to engage CBI because I think that's the level that you are operating at and thinking. And quite frankly, it's not about just your organization,
right? But
I think the future of the sector is in that direction.
Govind, thank you very much for this absolutely fascinating conversation. We really learned a lot about innovation and obviously the role of CBI throughout that process, and just terrific insights. So thank you very much, and we really appreciate your time.
Thank you. It's a pleasure talking to you always.
Again, our heartfelt thanks to COVID Naidu for that insightful discussion. We are so grateful you could join us. As Kovan pointed out, Combat Blindness International is one of the few eye care charities focused on reach, the ability to reach vulnerable populations in urban and rural areas, and scaling up our programs to encompass large areas. Right now, our ADIA initiative vision screeners are screening people who need eye care where it's virtually non-existent. And in phase 2 of the ADIA initiative, we are expanding in scale to cover a large geographic area. It is our hope that over the next 6 months, 90,000 people will be screened by ADIA vision screeners. That's 90,000 people who have little to no access to basic eye care. It builds on CBI's long-standing tradition of innovation. This tradition includes the Certified Ophthalmic Paramedic Program, which trains and empowers women to meet the demand for eye care technicians, CBI's investment in Oralab, which lowered the cost of a high-quality cataract surgery lens from hundreds of dollars to just $2 to $3, building an entire surgical center and helping eradicate a backlog of cataract surgeries in Botswana. But we did not achieve these innovative milestones all by ourselves. We collaborated with smart, forward-thinking partners, including eye hospitals, businesses, individual donors, and foundations. And none of this would have been possible without you, the caring, open-hearted people and organizations who have supported CBI. It is you that move the needle forward for CBI, helping reach so many in need. And now, I'd like to introduce Dori Batz, one of our remarkable longtime supporters, who will share some final thoughts on why all of us together can put an end to preventable blindness. Welcome, Dori.
Thank you, Rena. I am thrilled to be here tonight to celebrate World Sight Day with you all. For 37 years, CBI has had a huge impact on millions of people with a small staff, low overhead, and a shoestring budget. And for many years, I have volunteered my time and donated my own funds to support Combat Blindness International. Here's why I do it and why I think you should too. First, there's collaboration, and not just your run-of-the-mill collaboration. The CBI staff collaboratively works with its in-country partners and taps the expertise of CBI board members and other strategic players to develop sustainable solutions based on its partners' needs. The new ADIA initiative is a perfect example of this collaborative problem solving between Dr. Schroff's Charity Eye Hospital, CBI staff and board members, and UW Whitewater students. As was mentioned earlier, innovation is another reason CBI stands apart. Put simply, CBI delivers outside-of-the-box solutions. How did CBI help overcome the high cost of cataract surgery lenses? They partnered with 2 other organizations to start a new company, which exponentially reduced the cost of these lenses. This move allowed CBI to restore sight to hundreds of thousands of people at a fraction of the cost. This feeds into another key differentiator, having an entrepreneurial mindset in delivering solutions addressing preventable blindness. CBI's entrepreneurial investment in Oralab exemplifies this mindset. As does CBI's investment in training for young women to become ophthalmic technicians. It addresses the need for a bigger healthcare workforce while simultaneously empowering women through education and financial opportunity. And now CBI has launched the ADIA initiative, which empowers women vision screeners while ensuring basic eye care, particularly for women and children who are most vulnerable to vision loss. Another win-win. And finally, there is the return on your investment. For example, CBI provides a $25 cataract surgery that takes roughly 20 minutes and can give someone their sight back in 24 hours. That's simply amazing. And people who regain their vision generate 1,500% of the cost of their cataract surgery and increase productivity during the first year after their surgery. Now that's a remarkable return on investment. Tonight, we have a $50,000 matching opportunity, thanks to our good friend Diane Ballwig. We all want to thank Diane for her generous gift. From now through October 19th, all donations will be matched up to $50,000. Just think of what that could mean. Transforming the lives of 4,000 women, children, and men through sight-restoring cataract surgery, or giving hope to 250,000 children through vision screening, or empowering 333 young women to be trained as ALIA Initiative vision screeners. That means more people can return to work, go to school, and contribute to their families and communities because you have given them their vision back. You have given them hope and opportunity. It all comes down to the deeply personal impact you can have on so many lives through the gift of sight. There are few opportunities in this world to have such a big impact for so little. Tonight, you have a golden opportunity to transform the lives of so many who really need your help. I encourage you to join me. Give from your hearts, give today, and give generously. Thank you.
Thank you, Dory. And thanks to everyone who joined us tonight. Remember, 100% of the proceeds from tonight go directly to screening patients, providing free eye surgeries, and financial support for young women to become ophthalmic technicians and mobile vision screeners. The auction ends at 10 p.m. Central tonight for all items except for the travel packages, which you can bid on through 10 p.m. Sunday, October 17th. At Combat Blindness International, it has always been our goal to transform the lives of children and adults, empowering them to live their best lives and giving hope to those who otherwise cannot afford eye care. You are enabling parents to support their families. You are opening doors to a lifetime of opportunity for children, and you are helping young women achieve financial freedom through education. At this moment, I invite you to be a force for good in the lives of so many people who need you. Thank you so much for joining our World Sight Day celebration this evening. Be safe, stay healthy. Good night.
What excites me about this is that in such a small amount of money and short period of time, you can change somebody's life. It is just amazing to see when you do a cataract surgery and next morning the patient can see.
I support Combat Blindness International because I know that the money raised is going directly to helping those that desperately needed help.
Combat Blindness has literally figured out how to deliver what it does better than anybody I know. The team is amazing and the results are amazing because you're really putting money behind an organization that knows what it's doing through its partners and programs.
There are many things that impress me about Combat Blindness, and one is that with very little in the way of resources, they provide an enormous amount of service to thousands of patients each year around the world.
I would say to anyone just to take a second and think about if you couldn't see right now and you knew that if you had a simple surgery you could see, you would now be able to be independent and continue to work and take care of your family. But the only thing keeping you back was access to a doctor. That's why you should support Combat Blindness, because we all say we want to do the right thing and we would do anything to help someone. And to me, this was a way to actually put that thought into an action.